because the damage output plus the Discord orb, but seeing Moira back in, you kind of sometimes forget how quickly those coalescences build up.
Yeah, Moira was the preferred pick for 3-3 when you're against DPS compositions, because the healing throughput of a Moira is insane. 80 HPS per ally hit, that's up to 400 if you're getting all 5 at once, and 400 HPS, you've got to imagine how quickly that's going to build up those coalescences. Zapray forced to use his rifle, and this is the time to engage for Gigantti if they can catch Zapray now. You can see the use for speed boost, they're getting in there.
Attempted wall to wall off the front line, didn't quite get it though, as Henningsen was able to back away. Davin taking so much damage, and look at these Moira already up to 40% ult charge. That's a nice little wall there. Henningsen now trapped. Zappis is going to take him out, and now they can just set up on the point. Just stem the flow of damage as Zapray, yeah, he can just WM1 into them. As soon as that shield goes down, that's exactly what you're going to want to do. Chow can't quite save Zapray though with his defense matrix, as he was frozen up, and Davin securing the kill. Make that 2 as Chow ends up going down as well. Should seal the deal on this first point.
Fight breakdown here, very much in the favor of Gigantti. The second you lose one part of this, especially if it's the main tank, it will eventually go in the way of the team who got the first pick. It does take a while though, because so many members of this sort of like WM1 DPS comp have self-sustain, like the Reaper with his lifesteal, like the Mei. You can see that wall up there is going to give a little bit of high ground to Leaf, means he can snipe from the higher ground, potentially get himself that Blizzard to facilitate the next engagement. He's looking out for this Lucio. We can hear him. Can he get a wall in, potentially? If he can wall in Askov, that would be disastrous.
Yeah, that it would. Nope, you can hear him checking it out over in the back line now.
Orisa up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drop down, why not? There you go. There's the wall off from Leaf. Jump straight onto Henningsen. He's going to have to hit that shift fairly early, but now Leaf has the ult. He can now walk forward without the fear of the Orisa getting out of it almost for free. Henningsen ends up dying anyway as Davin WM1s towards him and picks him off. Make that 2 as Zapray also falls. A very, very quick and clean incision in the defense of HSL. Up on the high ground, did not expect the Reaper jumping on their heads, let alone the mate.
Yeah, they definitely have their protein shakes during the break, Jaws. The coaches seem to have given Gigantti a new lease of life when it comes to how aggressive they want these engagements to be. You and I were talking. Gigantti are at their best when they're in control, when they're able to dictate the pace of the game and make sure that shenanigans like HSL have had previously with these kind of weird engages are not going to fly, because it's Gigantti who are making these instead. They're coming in from high ground with an Orisa. Very unexpected, and they've got both of their playmaking ultimates moving into this next fight. Zapray and Fish are going to be very close as well, and maybe Chow can make something happen with a self-destruct. That's the main advantage.
Defensive wall from Leaf there to save his tanks for the time being. Chow can make a lot of space. Can be very easy sometimes to get self-destruct kills on King's Road, just launch it down the streets. There's going to be a halt. Unfortunately, no hog, so no hooks available, but Chow is still going to be able to deal out a lot of damage. Forcing the ice block from Leaf could be fairly important. In fact, it triggers Ding to use that coalescence fairly early. A lot of check marks are online as well. Someone's going to have to click Q soon as both the Blizzards come through as well. Milky Man and Leaf are frozen on the payload, but that B is going to save them for the time being. And now Zapray moving forward with the ult is going to get denied by the wall and the shield, and now he's in a lot of trouble. But Henningsen makes it worth his while, though, as Milky Man ends up falling down.
Davin and Zapray, they both TP'd up onto the high ground. The feedback was there. They knew Davin was up top. Zapray was like, look, I'm checking this guy. You got to make sure you don't let him drop down on you with this Death Blossom. That's exactly what he wanted, especially after that Blizzard. Good check there from Zapray, and this is a great place for HSL to have held, because it means Team Gigantti, every lost fight here is going to cost them minutes. It takes so long to get back, it takes so long to set up Jaws, and Fisher's got this long corridor to fire icicles down with no damage drop-off. That means fast generation of a Blizzard. He's already 40% premium to Leaf, who is his counterpart, but Davin here, the main playmaker. The Death Blossom is ready to go, but how are they going to facilitate it? They've got to watch out for the wall. It's already been used.
Double wall, straight over though, still doesn't manage to get anybody, but Henningsen gets isolated in all of that, and Leaf manages to take him down solo. And now, like you said, back on first point, as soon as your main tank's dead, you have to find picks, otherwise you've lost the fight. There's no shield for you to be had. Dink's going to use the Coalescence in the meantime, though, and buy a little bit more space and time. Zapray ends up falling, though, to a Coalescence coming out from Zapay as they do move towards the second point. A halt to end Askov's life, and the defense of HSL as the second point is captured.
And that was crucial, Jules. We talked about how that is a really bad place to be held if you are the offense. It takes so long. It drains so much of your time bank. to have to continue to engage in that particular area, and they're claiming so much space here. They might get around the first or second corner before HSL even be able to put Henningsen in a position to contest this, especially with Henningsen needing this much healing. Leaf's got himself another Blizzard. Fish is going to try and counter it out. It's also going to be Sound Barrier versus Sound Barrier.
They're targeting Henningsen this time around, and you can tell his health bar always falling so low as soon as the W has been pressed. Both feats are going to come out, no one dying just yet. As I say that, Leaf manages to get his Blizzard off still. Double layering it though. Henningsen ends up falling here as he was frozen, and Milky Man is safe behind his shield. Team Gigantti can now move forward again. As soon as you get off the main tank, what are you going to do? You can't even use the ultimate there, Zander, unfortunately, because it's just going to get DM'd or just shielded. Team Gigantti now move forward with so many ults online still.
For any tanks and supports, but Davin's doing the damage, or Zappis rather's doing the damage that needs to be done. The rest of the team will rejoin them. Going to have the coalescence and the self-destruct. The self-destruct can be very effective in this final area, especially for taking down the shield of Henningsen, meaning that he will be exposed to the elements that Leaf will provide.
Zap is throwing the self-destruct on the back line. He spots Zapray as well up in the sky. Did manage to make sure he didn't get any damage off, and he does use the Wraith form to get back behind the shield. Coalescence used, but that wall kind of messing him up a little bit there, but a counter wall makes it look fine as Fisher gets his one up in time. Coalescence mixed with the Hulk's kind of a deadly combo, but what's even more deadly is Davin with the ult. Zapray has gone down already, and he can just WM1 right to the back line. The Beat's going to seal the deal too as he's 700 HP. Nothing really stands in his way anymore as Henningsen ends up going down, and now Team Gigantti, without really stopping this payload, maybe once, maybe twice, but they continue to make it roll. HSL now on their last limbs getting back on the payload to try and stall out for an additional time. Ding ends up going down, and the last couple of meters should be claimed.
And Davin is looking so much better. The rest of Team Gigantti as well. I saw a beautiful interaction right there. We saw Davin, he was searching for that Death Blossom, could not get the kill onto Charles Mech, and he knew that that was a potential for Defense Matrix. So what do? They put a wall between Davin and the D.Va so that he could just spin around. There was no line of sight for that Defense Matrix to eat up the damage, and it managed to mean that Davin could chunk down so many people from HSL. A beautiful attack there. They have time in the bank. This is where Gigantti can try and turn this series around, but HSL, we know that they're speedy on these maps.
It's crazy, actually, when you look at the time bank and you think of how many fights that HSL won on the defense. What is it? 1.5 maybe? We'll give them the 0.5, but that one defense...
that was 1.5 at best.
Yeah, they got the definite defense on the set just before the second point, but the time bank is so low because these fights take an age to finish, because you mentioned before, Wraith form, Ice Block exists, and it's pretty hard to take down an Orisa sometimes as well. That shield comes up almost infinitely, it feels like.
And with a Moira Orbs. And
the Bardic Defense Matrix. There's a lot to actually chunk through, even if you've kind of know that you've won the fight because you've killed the main tank or maybe you've killed the Mei. It takes so long and you can stall out for such a great amount of time, hence the small time bank. If this was back in 3-3, if we saw some old-fashioned EU goats, that'd probably be near 4 minutes.
Maybe so, especially with Team Gigantti, who were quite dominant on that composition, looked pretty good. Not quite as good as Eagle Gaming, the best team ever to exist in the history of Overwatch.
That's very true.
Who is Jaws? Right now, though, HSL and Gigantti, they want to join those annals of history alongside Eagle Gaming, alongside Angry Titans, British Hurricane in Season 1 of 2018, and Gigantti so many times. Of course, I want to re-establish their name. HSL going to roll out on the attack. They've got the same composition. Once again, it is going to be Reaper Mei versus Reaper Mei. It's all about the plays, all about the synergy. And Zapray can come in from a different angle as usual. Looks like we're going to get an early wall here. Just obfuscation. Remove the information.
Yeah, a different offensive hold here. Oh, I say offensive hold. Doesn't really make sense. They're going to use the hotel as more of a playground here. Nice little wall there off onto Leaf. Already used the ice block. It's like, okay, now's the time to kind of wall him off. And now Milky Man's in a lot of trouble. HSL now marching on forward. We spoke about how long it takes to kind of finish off a team, but if you can force them off the point, that's good enough. A tick has already been acquired by HSL as their reinforcements are going to come back from Team Gigantti, but they're not going to make it in time. Not poor Zappis and Zappe, everybody going down. There you go. Team Gigantti end up falling, and HSL are going to claim the point.
And we talked about how 3-3 used to be a thing, Jaws, and one of the things that was really prevalent during 3-3 is forcing cooldowns, force the Zarya bubble, force a repair pack, and that's the exact same thing we're seeing here. You get aggressive onto Leaf. You make sure that if he's going a few steps too far forward, you get him to use the ice block, and once that's used, you can get aggressive, you can get onto him. He doesn't have the self-sustain, cannot give himself that get out of jail free, especially if he's using the wall in an offensive manner. Luckily, Team Gigantti, good spawns, they are going to be holding out the archway here. It's very difficult to get through here, especially against heroes that are so good in chokes like the Mei.
That was a nice little wall there. Hole's going to land onto Davin, but he's going to be all right for the time being. Zapre pressing Q in the center of the team, but Defense Matrix eating most of it up, but still getting the damage down and the pressure out. Blizzard is going to get eaten as well by Chow. This is it. This is the team fight that HSL need to win, but Askoff ends up falling low here and ends up getting taken out. The bomb from Chow was good enough, though, and with Zapre falling, there's no healers available now from Team Gigantti, so it's all about dying on payload and surviving for a little bit of extra time.
He will get himself that Death Blossom Davin from the damage that he's done. This is something that's very interesting when you're playing mind games as a Majors. You put down your Blizzard first because you try to get the counter with the other Blizzard. It's the same with like the Zayas in Goats trying to go for the counter Graviton. That's when Divas are at their best because you're like, oh no, I'm going to get frozen. I don't have time to freeze the enemy Diva. I'm just going to throw out my Blizzard, hope it works. And the second you know that Fish is throwing out that Blizzard, Chow's like, okay, Leaf, I'm ready for the counter. Give it to me. Nom nom nom.
Zapre holding up on the high ground now. Want to get a lot of damage down. Yeah, he saw that one, unfortunately, Davin. Has got the ultimate, though. Zapre not quite so close. Self-destruct in the back line is going to deal with Henningson's ult, but still, HSL are moving this payload. It has gained a whole lot of ground here as well. Leaf is going to get frozen up, but it's all about Zapre in the back line. That Blizzard's going to come out as well. He's going to claim 2 kills. The Coalescence was just for show. And Team Gigantti, once again, they fall on this street phase, and HSL's Time Bank looking pretty juicy.
Davin was actually frozen by the primary fire of Fisher out of his Death Blossom. That is unacceptable. Maybe he was midway through a Blizzard, I'm not sure, but at any rate, he made a very risky play, gave away that ultimate, was frozen up and easily dispatched thereafter. And now Zapre, he has the advantage of having a much higher charge on the Death Blossom. He can make the engagement happen here. That's a lot of damage to shields, a lot of damage to a wall, and already they forced out the Wraithform. This is the moment.
This is the go time. Chow has that self-destruct as well. Grab tried to get Zapre, didn't quite end up working out, but they still managed to get Henningson. A beautiful ult. Staying too close to the edge, man. It happens, it happens. We've seen Lucio's, the amount of times we've seen Lucio boops into that well, especially on Goats. It's pretty scary, but no one expects that Holt to drag you down instead. Nice little hold here from Gigantti. We're going to be able to burn some more time off here and claim a lot of ult charge too. HSL went up with an advantage coming into this fight, but they end up losing it anyway.
Yeah, very typical in new metas. You're thinking about so many things and like cooldown management. You forget about the basic stuff. Henningson, the victim there. Milky Man getting the better of him. Will be balled off.
Yeah, Holt as well up in the sky to get some additional damage down. Another wall is going to obfuscate a little bit of vision, and that Coalescence is going to do a lot of work here to everybody kind of carrying around this payload. They can still use it for cover, of course, and Leaf actually ends up going down. He had the Blizzard available to him as well. And now a beat is getting forced out from Team Gigantti as they do manage to run down Henningson. Zapre activates the ult, though, and takes out Davin. And now it's all about taking out Milky Man. He's cowering in a corner, but you ain't going to last long. They end up falling, and HSL get the payload moving once again.
An interesting wall there from Leaf. He actually made a backboard so people couldn't disengage from Zupe's beam of the Coalescence. It pierces through everybody, so you can get a lot of damage done there. Zapre can be aggressive. He knows Davin almost has that. Oh no, he's been taken out by Chow! Wow. That's deadly!
Almost insta-killed. Leaf's going to have to throw out that Blizzard. He knows the Diva's off to the side, so no heat can come through. Self-destruct's coming through as well. The Ice Block almost nets him a death as he almost gets in the pit, but Chow comes up big with a double kill. Self-destruct on Little Bow and Zupe. This is going to be it. HSL now looking for the cap. A couple of meters remain. All the ults eaten up by Chow as well. You can't get the ult there, Davin, unfortunately, when you're the last one left. He's focused out. Round 2 completes. And 3 minutes in the time bank for HSL. An even quicker round than Team Gigantti.
You call that a time bank? I'll show you a time bank. The only thing that could have got Davin so low in that position would have been a little bit of a wrist spam and an icicle headshot from Fisher. And you know, the second they saw Davin went that level, like, okay, he's either used his Wraith form and he's used to teleport. He doesn't have anything to get away. Chow, get in there. Unfortunately, Chow was also frozen in that engagement. Fisher's, it was Leaf who saw him, threw down that Blizzard. You can see Chow here going for that self-destruct. Gets 2 supports. So important. And that's for Boop coming through. You can see the assist there on Lilbo. Beautiful play. And we saw attempts at trying to combine these self-destructs with Holts, with Boops, with Blizzards. Very rarely works because of the sustainability and the multiple tools in this composition to try and mitigate incoming singular sources of damage, like a wall next to a self-destruct. That time, though, Ascot got the better of Lilbo.
Feeling pretty good if you're HSL. Gigantti, nothing to scoff at there. They got 1 minute and 46 in their time bank, which means they'll be attacking first. There's no way they run out with Milky Man Winston. It's definitely going to be a Rissa. I think it's a little bit of a death sentence, running a Winston into a Reaper and a Mei. Not the best.
And a halt.
And a hot, yeah, and basically everything on that comp just deals with Winston so well.
Big unlucky. And we've actually seen that Zapray has augmented his positioning now, no longer starting off on the right-hand side like he was last time. That forced him to use a Ray form to disengage. Means he's going to have that available to have a bit of an earlier engagement here. Liv's going to be looking for an isolation wall.
Well, he tries to get it, and they do manage to find Henningsen once again, but the primary fire not really freezing him up, of course. He does use the shift, and Leaf gets dragged on in. Moira getting the kill rather easily, right-clicking away, thank you very much, and another big wall here coming through from HSL. Fisher isolating so many people, and now only 1 minute and 15 seconds remains for Team Gigantti to claim this first point.
And the tech there from Fisher was so important. He made a max range usage of a primary fire. It's going to be a nasty stagger. This is cyberbullying.
And there it is. Zappis getting staggered out for even more time here. That's going to buy at least an additional 10 to 15 seconds now whittling away. They're probably going to only have one push on this. These comps take so long to take down. That's not really much instant push and power, instant kill potential.
Good news, Coalescence almost ready to go for Zuppe. Much further ahead than Ding, who didn't have much healing to do in that previous fight. If you can get an isolation here, give a backboard, it could be very important. Milkham has been booted forward.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble now. Had to hit that shift to make sure he doesn't get frozen up. Coalescence used fairly early. Built that at a premium over Ding, but Ding's now close to his. There's going to be a supercharger going down, and it itself is falling low, but not before. Davin's actually taken out, and now 26 seconds remaining. They can demech Zappis once again and go for this big stagger. This could be all over, Harry.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to have a 6v6 engagement before the end of this. Zappis is going to go down, and they've got the Blizzard ready to go, Jaws. Chow gets the execution. Gigantti going to have to make this on demand. 10 seconds remain, and they're going into double DPS ultimates and a Coalescence.
5v6 now. HSL have so many ults online. 5 on board. They use that Coalescence first. Davin's already dead. Zapray takes him out, and a beat to seal it as well. No one can touch the point. Oh, maybe Leaf in the back, but the rest of his team are already dead. They're scurrying for time, but Team Gigantti can't find the picks. They are going to get held on first. The Blizzard does come through, but is there enough damage from Zuppe? And Moira versus the world? I don't think so. HSL, with a 3-minute time back now, can attack first.
Oh, Ascot, you cheeky boy. He booped up Lilbo during the sound barrier cast. He went all the way up. It was like, I'm going to drop the beat. Dies midway through. No overshields for all of you, and no chance to win here for Gigantti. It's only the draw that they have available. Once again, similar to Volskaya and HSL, they can put themselves on match point, gauntlet point.
Gigantti on first point once again. Like you said, this has got to rattle your brain ever so slightly if you're Gigantti right now. 3 whole minutes to defend. Remember what happened last time? 1 team fight win, and then you're getting the payload moving. They only need that 33% though. HSL looking to take that gauntlet spot for EU over in Korea and claim themselves the championship as well. This is so scary for Gigantti. They cannot go down like this. It is match point though, of course, so it's not the series win just yet. Gigantti still have some leg room, but it is slipping away.
Yeah, first to 4. They'll get themselves to 3 if they can get only 33% here. They have 3 minutes to do it, which means they only have to win 1 fight. Save up for your Death Blossom. Save up for your Blizzard. Leaf here, he actually dropped on that first attack because he was frozen at maximum primary fire range from Fisher. He thought it was outside of the area of effect and didn't use his Ice Block to cleanse the slow and the freezing. An amateur error, unfortunately, for Leaf did cost himself his life on that attack and potentially Team Gigantti that push. An aggressive hold here from Gigantti, trying to get away some early poke. They need the ultimate charge, Jaws. But now HSL going straight on.
Yeah, they're doing the same thing. They're wrapping around in the hotel. That wall blocking off a lot of vision. Zapray is going to get halted forward. That wall coming out from Leaf didn't quite end up landing its mark. No one split off just yet. And now HSL pressuring on the point. But Big Gigantti, they need to touch, and they need to touch permanently. Otherwise, they could just lose the map here.
Leaf can get frozen. Davin's already down.
Zapray's going to find the first kill. This is good stuff from HSL. They can just walk forward now. So little damage available for Gigantti. Zappe at least getting the ultimate though, but now Leaf is dead as well. Are the tanks going to do damage? No, they are not. HSL pushing everybody from Team Gigantti off the point. Zapray's going to find another, and that's going to be it. HSL match point in the series.
And they're looking so clean, Jaws, on this May Reaper. They understand every intricacy. They're out-maying, they're out-reapering, and they're playing so well with this Orisa as well. It seems like we need to see more utility out of these May Wars if it's going to be Gigantti coming back. And now, if they want their hat-trick, if Zappis, Zuppe, and Davin want their 3rd Contenders win across 3 years, they need to reverse sweep.
HSL one map away from claiming this series, claiming the champion title of EU Contenders Season 2, and claiming the gauntlet spot. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. It's Gigantti's map choice once again. HSL on match point against Gigantti, 3-0 as well, as Gigantti fell on King's Row on first point, exactly like with Voskaya. It is going to be their map pick once again, and we are going on to Rialto, Harry. But look at those maps. HSL, HSL, HSL. Gigantti are these heroes, these champions. They are EU contenders. The team has made it to finals 3 times. They've won it twice. And now HSL, the run-back team, is making their way towards that trophy.
Yeah, let's have a quick inventory here, George. Henningsen, the new boy on the block, coming out as Denmark's best main tank. This is his first time getting past quarterfinals in a contender season. He's looking absolutely fantastic on the Orisa. Next, Chow and Ascoft, coming from Eternal Academy. They got relegated last season. Almost dead last. They got relegated out of Contenders Trials. Couldn't make it against for tier 3 teams. Here they are in the finals. Let's have a look at Fisher and Zapre coming back from NA. Montreal Rebellion and Envy didn't make it on either of those teams, but now they are looking good here in the finals. And finally, Ding, the old man for retirement, coming back, the legend himself, the dinger of heads on the Zenyatta. He's looking good on the Moira as well, Jaws, and they're up against Gigantti, a storied team, Titans, within our sphere of Europe. But this run-back team, they're running ahead.
Oh boy, and they're on defense first as well. It's up to Gigantti now to set the pace car of this map. Rialto has been a good map for them so far, though.
Yeah, we're happy with this choice.
We are happy with this choice. For Sky was a bit of a question, but they haven't lost Rialto just yet this season. So if they can continue that trend, well, that's exactly what they're hoping for, of course.
If you see Zerpe roll out on this Brigitte, do remember this is not new patch Brigitte. That would be old GOATS variant Brigitte, so would not be ideal, but I imagine he will actually swap off, maybe looking for an early stun. There is the Moira. We are going to be seeing the mirror on both sides again, but Gigantti, we haven't been too good on this mirror. They won out Mecha Base before HSL got a feel for them. Going to have to try and augment it slightly. See how they're going to work out here.
Nice little bit of orb tech there, just bounce it on the ceilings, just get one going. So the team is instantly healed. Or attempted Bubalaskov there,
nice
unfortunately, but a nice shield placement from Milky Man should be okay for the time being. Nice little wall there, in fact, actually sort of kind of got out of the mech. Zappis tried to thrust it backwards, but was unfortunately caught out just a little bit, and Zapri does end his mech's life. He can go back to spawn and change up, but does he really want to? I mean, you're going to lose a little bit of ult charge there.
This is pure Rialto, Jaws. The aggressive hold, it came with a 3-3.
Whoops.
It's here with a 2-2-2 still. Zappis executed. That does mean he won't have to swap over to get himself a mech back. Means he can retain his ult charge. Currently 33%, so saving him a little bit as Zapra continues to plink away, getting that extra damage. Once again, Gigantti, they do not have to give up the high ground just yet, but still HSL keep this card contested. It hasn't moved a single inch.
Well, there's Zapre's shift. Two coalescences doing their work, or at least trying to. Milky Man's in a bit of an awkward position here. That Blizzard is going to get eaten, though, by Zappis. Not too bad of a start from Team Gigantti, but they still end up losing Leaf here. This is a bad situation they're now in. Leaf had a very close ult, 99% as he went down, and Milky Man's feeling the pain and the pressure as well. He also ends up falling. And Harry, this is almost 2 minutes now off Gigantti's time bank.
Minute and a half has gone. Good read out from Zappis, though. He knew that his May had already used for block. That means time to come in with a Blizzard. Nope, gonna deny that one away. And now Leaf has the advantage. Chow has to be the one to eat this. Keep it even as Zapre looks for that drop down with the Death Blossom. He's been spotted out, though.
There's going to be a beat coming through from Team Gigantti. Another ultimate as well. They have to invest a lot into this one. HSL with the later beat. And Uskoff ends up going down. He's dragged off the map. A Blizzard is going to come through as well from Leaf to buy even more space and time. But Gigantti, they have been held here. HSL don't really mind losing this fight. Of course, you'd rather win it, but still 2 minutes off the time bank. And Gigantti, they barely moved it an inch.
Yeah, they invested 4 ultimates to do it, Jaws. Half the time bank is gone. HSL going to re-engage with both of the playmaking ultimates. They got the Blizzard, and of course they have the Death Blossom. Thing can also supplement that with the additional damage and healing, which pierces through barriers, through players as well. You can get a lot of throughput with that if people are grouped together.
Self-destruct coming out. Fisher looking for that Matrix. Well, Zappis ends up finding the kill. Maybe that was the time to go when the Met was airborne. Leaf and Askoff end up trading as Zapre does end up clicking the W, and there's the Blizzard. Instantly, Milky Man is taken care of, and the rest as well. Team Gigantti now on about a minute's time bank. It's going to take them 20 seconds or so to get back to this point, as HSL looking to hold them on first.
And when we talk about cyclical ult generation, that's exactly it there. They use the Death Blossom first, then the Blizzard after the defensive measures are gone. That means Zapre is already 42% towards the next one, because he could clean up on that Blizzard with his shotguns, the ideal position. Davin can come in from up high here, has a Death Blossom ready to go, can be supported, of course, with the Coalescence, but he needs to worry about the mitigation factors that Gigantti have available. They found out Askoff already, can't be picked early again.
He's somehow still alive, though. Miracles have happened. Zapre manages to take out Milky Man. He dropped early, I think, and now Gigantti, they're
over.
on one fight now. They haven't even capped first. They're nowhere near around this second bend. HSL have got ults coming up online as well. Luckily, Team Gigantti have had theirs stored and didn't really use much in that last one.
Well, the granary is full, Jaws, but the time bank is not. 20 seconds hold them from a very hard-to-win condition here on Rialto. We've got 3 ultimates ready to go, almost 5. A couple of icicles will get him a Blizzard, and HSL currently don't have anything available, but Blizzard's also up now. Good to go. There's the first wall. Time for an engagement.
Supercharger coming out, and now you can see HSL having to move on as they get dragged out. An ult coming through from Zander is going to get eaten all up, and Gigantti have to invest a lot into this to make sure they can win this fight. Superchargers use Coalescence, even the Reaper ult as well. Team Gigantti eventually scurrying HSL as they do move it round this second bend and towards first.
Once more, 4 ultimates was the price to pay, but crucially they've kept that Blizzard. They can make sure people are zoned away from touching this point, get that extra 2 minutes 30 in the time bank. You know that Henningsen, he's going to be clopping his hooves on forward, trying to get here and contest.
They're going to be able to touch. Leaf's got a Blizzard as well, but Henningsen's already dead. He overstepped his shield, and Zappis ends up securing his kill. And now HSL don't have a main tank. They're probably going to fight on here anyway and hope for a miracle. A Blizzard's going to come out from Fisher as well as a beat. Charge down Zappis, and he ends up losing his mech. The self-destruct's good though, as Fisher and Zappray end up going down. Team Gigantti aren't out of the woods just yet though. They end up cleaning up Chow and Thing, finally getting them off the payload. OT was here where they managed to cap the first point.
And 2 minutes and 30 seconds will be added to Team Gigantti's life here in Overwatch Contenders Europe. It was so close to being an almost unwinnable scenario for them, but the lifeline has been extended. They once again have the supercharger ready to go. This is super good for generating other ultimates. 50% more damage, 50% more ult charge as Leaf tries to get a couple of early uses of the Icicle right here. HSL can engage using this Coalescence to pierce through multiple targets, try and force out some cooldowns and allow for some freezes afterwards from Fisher.
Nice little boot there, but even better wall coming through from Leaf to stop all that Coalescence damage. Ceasing the resistance is Team Gigantti now as they do put the supercharger down on the point and use a Coalescence of their own. That's doing so much damage, there's no way Henningsen can survive that one. Askov trying to find the boots here on the front line, but nothing's really going to pierce that shield if you're the Lucio. And they do end up trading, but all for naught as Team Gigantti continue to get this payload going. HSL, they potentially have here, Harry, if they can touch, another fight just before second.
Yeah, and 1 minute and 30 will be added to Team Gigantti's time bank if they can get the second cap as well. And what was a woeful first attack could turn into a full completion here on Rialto if they continue to snowball. First vote is going to be Zappray coming in, touching the cart, will be forced to use Ray form. Now it's going to be a primary target.
They're going to touch. Zappis is going to get frozen as well. He doesn't pull the trigger just yet. Davin waiting in the wings too with his own ult. Now Zappray launching himself forward with the help of the speed boost coming from Askov, ends up securing the kill onto Lil Bo. Now again, Gigantti in a similar situation, only have a minute now remaining. Davin at least claims 1 kill, but with the loss of mech here from Zappis, it's going to be disastrous. He ends up getting killed off, not the worst stagger in the world, but a couple of meters before second. That's not what you want to see if you're a Gigantti fan.
I'm getting a feeling of deja vu, Jaws, and there isn't even a tracer on the screen to pay. Unlucky. That's another little stagger coming through. Team Gigantti are now guaranteed to have only 1 fight. But look at that outbank, Jaws. Almost 6 ready to go. HSL, they've got to batten down the hatches. They've got to give themselves a big steel door, lock themselves in the vault. It's going to be one final fight here for Gigantti to live on second point of Rialto. And Milky Man almost has a supercharger ready to go. HSL, you're going to have to try and defend yourself from this. Maybe you have to strike first, force Gigantti to use ultimates early.
Gigantti have 6 ready in the wings though. HSL playing on the stairs. Supercharge is going to get used. A nice hold to bring everybody down to the floor and down onto Milky Man's level, but maybe that's not what he wanted. Both Blizzards are going to come through, and that self-destruct from Zappis once again is good. Ding and Zappray, they end up going down, and a Coalescence will finish off the rest. Team Gigantti in OT once more end up capping second.
And it was all again down to a halt, this time from Milky Man. The first halt took everyone off the high ground, made sure Chow could be frozen, allowing for Blizzard to be put down. Some staggers here going to come through, will buy Gigantti some space. And the second halt from Milky Man dragged everyone towards the exploding Demon Mech and into the Blizzard as well. Blizzard and Self-Destruct seems to be the clutch combo here for Team Gigantti, but they did invest 5 ultimates in that previous fight, only 1 remaining. Davin with the Death Blossom, gonna have to be looking for a way to insert this. Of course, it's all about tracking those cooldowns. There's always the Ice Block for Ray Form, the Fortify. What can be used? Can you keep track of the defense matrix as well?
Geometry is pretty good as well on this point specifically. All the columns you can hide behind to negate all that Death Blossom damage. Henningsen and Zappray have got a couple of ults online as well. Chow the same as he gets his self-destruct up. Supercharger goes down. Milky Man's shield fades as they do end up retreating off the payload. But they got 30 seconds to make this work.
Yeah, they have, and they have already used their Mate Wall. That's going to mean there's an advantage in terms of engagement tools here from the side of HSL. Does look like Leaf is going to have that back ready again. Chow has another self-destruct, but they've been very lacking in use over this particular fight. We'll have to see if 20 seconds left will be enough for Team Gigantti.
Bolt into the Coalescence, and Zapre sets himself up forward on that payload. Anybody that steps towards him is going to get a face full of lead as he hits that Q key. Although, yet again, using that Wraithform fairly early. Looked like he just wanted a free reload, to be honest. And now only 5 seconds remain as Gigantti have to get back onto this payload. There's going to be a supercharger as well as that Blizzard coming out. Zapre gets instantly frozen up and taken care of, but Chow's bomb might be good, but they need a hold to deal with it. Anybody from Gigantti, it's not going to happen. Milky Man may have fallen here, and that could be what is needed from HSL, but Gigantti have the beat to back them up.
How they do, a big boot coming through from Askoff. Henningsen going to be flanking away with Fusion Driver.
Milky Man's coming back now on the Wrecking Ball as Zapre moves forward. The spawns are way in favour of HSL right now. The self-destruct launched high in the sky, but Henningsen was more than safe behind his shield. The ball is landed on the ground. The Coalescence reigns through the front line, but Fisher is waiting on the sidelines with a Blizzard.
Supercharger number 2. Fisher ready to put this down for second man. Defense Matrix is gone.
It's gone. Blizzard in the back. Everybody has to scatter. Not so lucky with Zappis as he ends up losing his mech and is going to lose his life shortly after as well. Davin ends up going down as well, and the hold is going to be here for HSL as Team Gigantti are cleared off the payload.
And Henningsen got 2 supercharges in that fight. The man's accuracy on the Orisa is unbelievable. The damage throughput, so impressive, and potentially allowed for the rest of the team to build up those ultimates, getting that extra damage. I keep saying it, 50% more damage, 50% more ult charge, because it's so important when you're building up those blizzards again and again. And when you can force out the defense matrix from Zappis, and there's nothing to be done. You put that down, everyone's got to be on cart, because overtime's been in session for so long, and if you're there, you're getting frozen. It's getting very chilly on the point, but despite the doom and gloom we said on first point and second point, Gigantti, this is pretty good for Rialto. They're in a very winnable position. They can take this to 3-1. They can begin that reverse sweep. It's a long way before they can book those tickets to Korea, Jaws, but it's possible.
The map is going to end on this round. They didn't manage to get a full completion. And yes, we know there is a chance for a draw, but it's not going to happen. It's like 0.03 meters or something silly. It's never going to happen. I'm sorry. HSL on the offense, though, Harry. They're going to do the same again. No surprises. I want to see what Gigantti want to hold, though, because HSL bought a lot of time, holding right up to the gates. In fact, brought Gigantti to OT, not once, but twice, in the pushes on first and second. Does it like Little Bo's just hanging around for the time being? Does it like they are moving forward, I do believe. Yes, Milky Man just charging over the bridge.
And Gigantti are very used to this hold. They were a very experienced 3-3 team, of course. You're going to be if you've competed in EU for 5 seasons running. And this is very much a 3-3 hold, where you do try and hold up as close as possible, make use of the sustainability that you have, as well as the bruising power of having so many chunky targets. But what they cannot do here is allow the cart to get away from him. That's the wrong way to play this hold. If this cart moves, so that HSL have it moving.
Bio-grenade from Askoff, though. He's coming out on the Ana this time instead. Knows he can get some crazy angles, and it does rely on the D.Va kind of eating this one up. And already the defense matrix is going to get used. He gets pulled back in, and another bio-grenade lands. No healing on the D.Va. She's going to get. The mech's going to go down, and now Davin has to supplement this with all the damage that he can output. But already Milky Man falls, and now they have no shield.
The cart's moving. This is a terrible way for this to happen. Leaf's gone down, but if this cart's moving, you're losing this hold.
Askoff changing over to the Arn to start the round off, looking so good for HSL. They knew Gigantti was starting that far up, and to be fair, you could just pop your head back in, change over to Arn, then change back to Lucio. That's exactly what he did, and they end up winning this first fight rather handily.
Full big brain maneuver. I got to give huge credit to the coach of HSL, Izzy, former Tier 2 competitor, Tier 3 superstar with Golden Sausage. Evidently, he's been grinding this comp super hard, and he's so proud of his team.
They're going to move forward. Zappis is going to take the high ground, looking for any cheeky blizzards or anything of the sort coming out. It's going to get challenged by Chow on the top side as well, as the Coalescence is used on both teams. Henningsen taking a fair bit of damage, and in fact, an ice block forced by Fisher as well. Self-destruct launched in, same with that Blizzard. Henningsen does manage to run away for the time, but straight on top of the team is Zapre. Ding sends in the orb as well for some additional damage, and Gigantti disappear right in front of your eyes.
Beautiful stuff right there. Zapre manages to weave it on in, spins around, gets the damage, and the same can be said of Ding. Team Gigantti, they've only taken away 2 minutes on this first point. They're going to have to try and contest in this tunnel, but will they be able to get there? There's so much to mitigate the movement. You can get walled, you can get halted, you can get booped by Askoff, but already you can see the Milky Man's moving forward. He's got to get here fast, though. Same with Davin.
Davin's going to be able to get there just to make sure it is contested. That Blizzard's going to come out there. Look at the space it's providing too. No one can touch this payload right now. Zappis is already going to go down. A nice kill into Astov's a good start, but can they follow up with anything more? This Coalescence dealing so much damage. The pressure exerted is just insane. Again, it's down to Davin, I feel, to do the damage in this fight. Looks like Lilbo took the game into his own hands, though, and takes care of Zapre. It's Gigantti. They're going to be able to hold for the time being. There's only 1 meter and 82 centimeters remaining for HSL to cap.
The cooldown rotation there from Milkman was sublime. Managed to keep himself on that payload when it was needed. Backed off when he couldn't. Got Davin in there with the Wraith form as well. Make sure that it didn't go forward while everyone was caught in the blizzard. The Fisher laid down. And HSL, they invested so much in that fight. They knew they had to win it there because now they're in such a disastrous position. What was a great time makers quickly whittled down to 1 minute and 13 seconds. And Gigantti look like they can win this next fight with ease, Jaws.
Fisher's nowhere near his blizzard, man. This is so scary. Leaf has got his online, like you said. They're moving forward as the Coalescence is used on that bridge. Everybody's going to be lining up anyway if you're Gigantti or HSL trying to get onto this point. Leaf has got that blizzard. All he just needs is it for it not to get eaten. Right under the payload it goes. And that spin to win the Beyblade on top of the payload as well to deal a whole lot of damage to HSL as Chow manages to remech, but not before Fisher goes down.
Askov caught out, got halted as he tried to come in for a boop, and now it's just going to be Zapre plinking away. Use this Wraith form. You can't take this fight right now. You're down, you're May, and your Reaper doesn't even have Wraith form. You can even get staggered here if they catch up to you. Can't allow for that halt to get your Orisa. Luckily, Fortify is there.
Yeah, Henningson's okay. Fortify doing him well for the time being, but now only 35 seconds remain, Harry. Fisher has that ultimate online, Leaf does not.
Zappis can be the hero here. If he eats this blizzard, it could be all over for HSL, and they could start the reverse sweep for Gigantti. Moving on forward, the ultimate is available, but it's such a dangerous place to take an engagement, so easy to get pulled off.
No one panic. Askov's using the beat. They're surging forward. Both Coalescence is going to get used as well. The Reaper ult used on payload again is going to get eaten up, but there's the blizzard. No defense matrix to be had, and Zapre kills off Davin. The self-destruct has to be big, but it gets laywayed once again by the shield. A nice boop and a couple more kills for Zapre does mean HSL cap the point.
Oh, Jaws, it's terrible. Leaf got killed while he was trying to use the blizzard. He was on his own. It was 1v6. He thought he could win it out with the icicles. The silly man. Not going to be available for this next fight. And Team Gigantti, they knew that they could start their reverse sweep there, so invested so much. Only Davin's going to be even close to an ultimate. Lilbo, Zappis, Suppe, Leaf, Milky Man going to be relying on those vanilla abilities here to try and make it work. What a huge blizzard from Fisher, though. Great play on the May.
Chow just loses Mecha fairly early. I don't think he expected Team Gigantti to be up on the high ground. Doesn't mean, again, they're going to have to play rather tempered. Well, they can still do a fair bit of damage here by just walling people up, building up towards that Death Blossom once again.
Exchange of mid-range shotguns right there. Going to be poking away. The love taps across the room as they make eye contact. And Zapre here may have to use this Wraith form. That's the go sign. Once again, we talked so much about how they have to just take advantage of Ice Block and Wraith form being used. Those abilities are so integral to how this composition works.
Chow finally gets his mech back, but it took him so long. Of course, he's just firing into shield, just hoping he can land a headshot to get a little bit more damage in. Zappis goes fairly low as both Coalescences are used. You can see Ding just trying to get Zappis on the side, but nothing's really going to come of it at all. And Zapre gets frozen up in the meantime. A blizzard will come out, but once again, right at the back line, Lilbo gets the beat through and makes sure no one goes down.
Hero beat. They're using the self-destruct as well. Why are you doing this? Both your DPS are down. Get in that water. You got to reset right now. There you go. Go for a swim. Not the great play there from HSL. I'm so surprised that they used what they did. And now, Team Gigantti, they still have all these plays to make. They've got the Blizzard, they've got the Death Blossom. It's looking very good to get themselves a map here. We talked about how Rialto was one of their more favoured maps. They haven't lost on it yet. Definitely the greatest pick here to go on to Escort. HSL, despite looking dominant so far, are on a knife's edge with 30 seconds remaining. 2 ultimates in the bank, and it's going to be a while before we get any more available.
The run back is certainly in progress for Team Gigantti right now. They just need to hold them here. 23 seconds remains, and Leaf does have the ult. The beat is going to come through, and a perfect pick-off onto Askov to start off the fight. Gigantti now can march on forward. Leaf can play he can play it aggressive or passive, but he's got the ult ready and raring to go. Fisher is no way near his. Coalescence is going to supplement the healing. Leaf gets targeted out by Henningson at least and punched to death. He's still alive somehow, but a Coalescence, the pressure, the healing, and even Davin sitting on his own ult. He's going to spin to win on the payload. Zapre, Askov, they bite the dust. OT is all but gone now for HSL. They get cleaned up, and Team Gigantti potentially starting their run back.
No sweeps allowed right here in the map between map 3 and map 4 is apparently where Flubby and Tanny figured out exactly what HSL were doing and how to counter it. And right now, it seems like there's huge difference between these two teams. So a value for self-destruct. Zapdos is getting so much done with this ultimate. It's been combined with the Blizzard so many times because you know people are investing cooldowns to try not to get frozen. And after those cooldowns expire, you don't have anything to deal with the burst damage that comes through, up to 1,000 if you're right next to it. And you know if a Milky Match is coming in the hole, pull them towards it, maximum damage.
The maze have been so good though. Fisher and Leaf have been fairly well drilled, it seems, on the walls. Like you said, that break clearly helped them. We are going to go into map number 5, of course. This time around is HSL's pick. We'll see if they can take it and take the title as well. We're going to be right back after this short break. Hey guys, welcome back. HSL still on match point. We're going to head over to Control as our potential final map. Remember, all the way back in Busan at the start of the series, they did manage to take it 2-0. And for the first time in the series, Harry, as well, they get to choose a map.
Yeah, they are going to be able to choose this. Gigantti even got to choose our introductory map, coming in as the higher seed. Of course, they didn't even lose a map in playoffs because they had a bye, and then they 3-0'd. Nepal's going to be the choice, and this is kind of interesting. We're going to be seeing Maze, no doubt, especially on Village. That was one of the maps where May was popularized before she was even really part of a meta, Jaws. But looking over at Sanctum, that's where I'm interested in if we're going to see maybe Gigantti go over to something a bit more dive-centric. You know, they're very comfortable on having Davin on the Tracer. They're very comfortable with just putting Leaf on that Hanzo, having Milky Man on the Winston. Feels like right now, Orisa isn't the optimal for Team Gigantti, so maybe they'll take advantage of that. But of course, Orisa is very powerful on this point. Can it just force people to go searching for Mondada's gold in the pit below?
Yeah, that's always the big worry. Especially when you come out first as well. The amount of times I've seen people just kind of wander out. They go up onto the right side or left side high ground where that mega is just outside, and you're like, hey, guy, and then you get dragged off, and you're like, well, bye.
Jaws is end main, so we often see his McCrees do that when they run out. And
I'm the one that does that. I'm the one that falls in the pit. It's the worst. Because I'm like, they're definitely not going to pull. They pulled, and I'm dead. Okay, very good. Sorry, team. We lost first fight, but there we go. HSL and Team Gigantti looking like they're going to run the same comps as we saw before. Zappis, can't imagine he's going to stay on the Winston. Switches over. For the very last second, 7 seconds remaining, what am I talking about? But Sanctum as well for these kind of comps, Harry, is so defensible. You can hide in that very, very small room next to the point, and you take almost zero fire. And it really takes the other team to kind of step on and then challenge you to get any space.
Yeah, and one of the only ways to take that fire is like a long-range support, like a Zenyatta being able to plink away from the high ground. Both of our teams going to be playing this mirror with the Lucio and the Moira. The Holt already coming out. Doesn't look like anyone's going to be caught out here. No, Zapre was caught.
Yeah, unlucky. Tell a lie. The Reaper is going to go down first. Now it's going to be about the control. Does, nope, he manages to escape alive. Askoff is going to be able to tell that tale. Live for another day.
Looking like he can be frozen.
Just, you want to get the freezes here. All the boots for Askoff. There you go. Starting off the fight pretty nice as well. Killing off Leaf. And he is going to get halted in, but the amount of healing that's coming out is actually ridiculous. You can tell by Ding's ult charge, who's almost got Coalescence. Zappe an inch behind him. Actually, I say that as he gets it off first, but still this point is in contention. Milky Man ends up falling as Fisher finds the kill, and now potentially the fight will end as Fisher also kills Davin. Oh, what looks so good for Team Gigantti to start off with gets flipped around.
But HSL here, they're not panicking, and that's so important, Jules. We talked so much about how these guys haven't really been to a finals before, especially Henningsen. You lose your Reaper there, you're like, well, there goes our main damage dealer. Do we panic? No, they button on down. Izzy has drilled them well. They do not panic. They make it work. They get a boop onto Leaf, which is so important. And now they're in a defensible position with a May. And you all know from your ranked games, defensible positions with May can spell the end of any map.
Oh, it's so horrible. You got to watch out for that Matrix, though. That's what Fisher's looking out for right now, trying to freeze it. There's the Matrix. Yep, Fisher looked at that one, but oh, he gets frozen. The Blizzard's not going to come out. The big freeze from Leaf cancels the Blizzard. They still lose Milky Man, though. And HSL, with the backing of the beat, should be able to march on forward. Zapre's going to hit the Q as well. Most of that damage sinking into the Mecha Zappis and eating on up. Leaf puts himself in a bit of an awkward position against the rest of HSL. Zapre still being alive here with no Orisa to worry about is good news for HSL as they continue to hold.
And there's so much credit there for Chow Jaws. We actually saw Zapre get frozen and Leaf was lining up that icicle with his head from behind. Not today. Eaten up by that defense matrix for great team play. These guys haven't been together for long. Gigantti have been together with this team for 3 seasons now, but that is so much synergy coming through from the fresh amalgamation of players that is HSL. They're now within 1 or 2 fight territory for winning this. The Supercharger's gone down from the side of Gigantti.
Super early, but HSL, when what's touched on at the start of the map, they can just duck in here and just avoid all that damage incoming. There will be a wall to block them off, and now they have to... No, they can contest now. That Reaper does a lot of damage, funnily enough. Coalescence from Ding, and they're going to put out to push people away. Wait, how is Milky Man not dead? He was just on the edge. He got booted off, but he managed to survive somehow. The rest can't be said for his team, though. His Davin and Leaf end up falling. HSL, they're on 95%. They still got ults to bear, too. His Henningsen is 5% away. 98 will build up to 100. Team Gigantti routed off the point. Henningsen, your boy, putting down the supercharger, ending it as swift as that. OT's ticking away, and Team Gigantti are going to fall here with an Eden Blizzard from Chow.
And that is perfect. Just plays in the bag, gets frozen up. They give him the Blizzard as well. No one's getting on here, Jaws. But I tweeted about this combo the other day. It's the Holt into the boop. You think Holt Hook's good. You think Holt Blizzard is good. You think Holt Self-Destruct is good. I've got news for you. If you're on Well or you're on Sanctum, Holt them up in the air, get Ascoft under there, give him the big old boop off into the edge. And that's some instant kills. You can ice spot you if you leave, but you can't save yourself from the death. There it is. Holt, look up, give him the boop. See you later, everybody.
Look at Milky Man, by the way. He just narrowly gets sent into the pit.
Safe, guys. We're good.
It's okay. I'm safe. Wait, the rest of my team are already dead.
Lucio?
Oh, dear. HSL now 1 map away. This could be it, Harry. 3-1 is the scoreline in the series. 1-0 on control. HSL, Team Gigantti running out, not on the mirror. Zappis on the Reinhardt instead of the Diva.
Map point, match point, Contenders point, and Europe point. They want to stamp that ticket to Korea to represent us against the best in the world of Tier 2. It's going to be, once again, Reaper and May. Both teams, they've already got a little bit of an advantage here, having engaged with that box. We've got double shields on the side of Team Gigantti. Zap is picking up a Reinhardt. I'm surprised they haven't put him on the Orisa here.
They can rotate this so easily too. It's like Milky Man shield gets destroyed. I just pulled my right click. Milky Man not quite so lucky. Now they have to rely on Zappis. Oh dear. As Zappari's now moving forward. The Reinhardt's basically useless against the Reaper. You can just dance around the shield. Fisher may have fallen here, but both your tanks, if you're Gigantti, are long gone. Zappari unleashing the ultimate. As a coalescence was invested there by Zappe.
I'm surprised they even used the Death Blossom, Jaws. It seemed like already HSL really had things under control right there. Davin has that Death Blossom ready to go there. The main playmaking tool. Zappis goes over back to the Diva, admitting defeat in this case. It was a little bit hard to freeze people, especially the off-tank with that shield available. But look how far behind Milky Man is compared to Henningsen, the newcomer on the Orisa, so far ahead on the Supercharger. Down it goes.
There it goes, and now the additional damage is going to get pumped out. You see Zappray on the flank. That beat is going to be long gone rather soon. Zappis already dead. This is going to be it. It should be an easy win now, as Fisher can just hold this corner with a Blizzard. That Milky Man falls, and Leaf is also going to follow him. HSL have so many ults online for the next fight as well, and they're already at 40%.
Jaws, I'm calling shenanigans. Why did they invest a sound barrier when Henderson had that supercharger down and they were all walled off? They didn't need to engage into that. They gave over so much ult charge, 50% more damage. Now Zapray has a Death Blossom. Fisher has a Blizzard. They're going to be mirrored by Team Gigantti, but still they won't have that sound barrier to try and deal with it.
What a perfect wall. They managed to break through it in time, and they do wall off Team Gigantti in the process. Zapray is going to get halted onto the higher platform, but now Leaf is in trouble. He ends up going down. HSL are a couple of fights away from securing this series, the map, and a place in Korea, plus the trophy. EU contenders getting shooken up. Gigantti are on their final limbs.
And Zapray just used his Death Blossom. He's halfway to the next one. Team Gigantti have everything they need. They have a Supercharger. They have a Blizzard. They have a self... Oh, no, they don't have a Self-Destruct. That was Zappis remaking. They've got a Death Blossom anyway. That's going to do 50% more damage, but last fight is coming for HSL. If Team Gigantti don't want to get taken 4-1 here in the finals, they've got to knuckle down. They've got to make this work. They've already been walled.
Look at this early coalescence. HSL want to bring the fight to Gigantti, and Zapray kills off Davin. That's a lot of damage now missing. Leaf has to come up big. Henningsen's so low, but he's already going to get healed up. Milky Man's going to fall as well. This is it. HSL are going to move forward and abolish Team Gigantti's front line. There's one person touching, but Zappis' mech is gone.
There's the soundbar. It gives everyone extra help, but...
Self-destruct coming in. Chow's going to kill off Zappis as well. Zapray hits the Q key. Team Gigantti on their last limbs just have to rely on Davin getting back and hitting something big, but this is going to be it. Ascot uses the beat, and Ding uses his ult as well.
He's got the Death Blossom ready to go. He's used it in the middle with the Text Matrix.
Nothing went through at all, and that's going to be it. HSL knocked them all off the point, secure the map, the series, and a spot in Gauntlet.
The underdogs, the new dogs, they've never been to finals before, but they have stamped their ticket here, entering the annals of Contenders history, going over to Gauntlet to represent us as well, and absolutely trouncing Gigantti 4-1.
What an incredible story for this team to be built from what scraps of players that have been left out. That Chow, for example, being on CIS Hope for so long, not finding success in Eternal Academy. The same for Ascoft as well. Ding coming out of retirement, joining this season of Contenders, and the glorious return as well for Zapre, for Fisher, coming from NA back to EU and taking down the stalwarts in Gigantti.
They're picking up their titles. It's been a while since Zapre has had one, back when he was on Misfits, all the way back, if you guys can remember, 2016, 2017. It was so long ago, and he was always on the Tracer back then. His hit scan skill has not devolved at all. Still good here on the Reaper, and I'm so impressed with how Izzy has drilled these guys to do the May, the Reaper. They're so well synergized, and right now it seems like they have such a sublime understanding of this composition.
That one spot is going to get taken by them in Korea, and they're going to face the best in Tier 2 from across the globe. And they look pretty terrifying with their 4 spots, and Korea as well always looks so scary. And this is going to be the hope for EU to take a victory over in October in Seoul, South Korea. And you got to say one thing, I bet they're looking forward to it, but they have got a lot of time to prep for it as well. Team Gigantti going down here. They have been in Contenders since its very conception almost. I mean, only missing out on Season 0 of 2017 when they were rest in pajamas. They have been a feeder team for OWL as well. They've sent so many players down the path to pro, go into teams such as Fuel, Rain, Gladiators. We've got Cloudy, Fraggy, that links Facility, who is on Montreal but hoping to get to Toronto Defiant. What an amazing achievement to continue to be this dominant in EU, regardless of their loss today.
Well, with this performance, Jules, we could see HSL become also a feeder team. You know that so many teams are going to be looking to rebuild, and a lot of teams are going over to mixed rosters. They no longer want to go all Korean or all Western. They're going for the Philly Fusion route. So these European players can be big pickups for them, whether it's Zapre or Fisher in the 2-2-2 meta, where you can guarantee that DPS prowess, or if you're bringing in a Diva specialist. Chow's looking so good, and I've got to admit, I gave Chow a little bit of flack when they were going up against Call of Vendetta. His off-tank seemed lacking when they were all about playing the Roadhog, but they decided, hey, Chow's just a really good Diva, and Diva works in this, so we won't go for the whole hooks. We'll go for the mitigation, and we saw it there on Sanctum, saving the life of Zapre when he was frozen, coming in with a clutch defense matrix. The synergy of these guys, even with how short a time they've been together for only the single season, they haven't even had Ding the entire time, is unbelievably good.
I'm so excited to see them in Korea, honestly. It's going to be so good. And Henningsen, what a magnificent start to your Contenders journey. Just taking the W in Season 2. I'm going to represent EU on the global stage as well. These maps look so good, and you could tell how much momentum HSL had going in to, regardless of Rialto, them losing it, but still the momentum they had. Managed to halt Gigantti just before third. It looked also winnable. It was Gigantti kind of biting back at the very end. It's just Control got the better of Gigantti in the end of it all, and it did come down to a lot of these May plays too. Fisher's walls have just been so good. He knows exactly how to wall, when to wall, and it does come down to the May controlling the tempo of these fights sometimes.
And what makes me very confident for these guys in Korea, Jaws, is that Fisher is hardly one-dimensional as a May. We saw his Hanzo as well. We've seen his Genji before as well in our playoffs. He looks so good on all of these projectile heroes, and the same can be said as Zapre. Really good on the McCree, on the Tracer, on the Widowmaker, and we've seen them flex those to great success at points. So no matter how the meta changes, unless Henningsen somehow can't pick up Sigma if he becomes a huge meta player, then they're looking really good to go up against whoever else is going over to the gauntlet.
Oh boy, it's going to be a scary time for them, but they can definitely wear this as a crown and a badge of honor. Just taking Season 2 of 2019. Well, it looks like we've got an interview though. It's going to be Chow. We'll get him on the line and see what he has to say about this series. How's it going, man? You feeling obviously pretty good?
Yeah. I am feeling good, yes.
Right, I want to... Against Gigantti, I'm a little bit lost for words, I'm not going to lie. Against Gigantti of all teams, like this looks like the biggest mountain any team could possibly climb over. How was your mindset going into this series?
Well, it's pretty easy. Like being behind, not being the favorite is always easy because everyone expects them to win. No one expects us to win, so no pressure on us. But in general, if you are asking as for the matchup in Heroes thingy, we felt comfortable on the mirror matchup with Reaper May, but we were afraid that they might pull some static compositions with Hanzo's Pharas or stuff like that. So we prepared for that as well. But in general, we were looking to mirror them on this.
Awesome. Well, coming in from semi-finals, we saw that you guys changed a lot from playing over on the Roadhog for you in the off-tank role to the D.Va. Was that a specific choice by you and Izzy as the coaching to say, hey, Chow's a really good D.Va, is this what we're going to bring out on this final?
No, to be honest, yes, my Hog is like not the best. I've been practicing him a lot, but it's not about that. It's just because we think that this composition that we played Reaper is very strong. It's basically new goats. We're calling it goats in our comps, and D.Va is the best for it. Like you can't play Hog with it. It's very hard. So we just picked D.Va, and I like this meta a lot. For D.Va, it's very fun. Like I get to protect my teammates, and I get to have a lot of value on my character.
Yeah, you definitely showed the skills of eating blizzards, that is for sure. And that's one of the main tools that teams end up winning these engagements. And you ate a couple in this series, so, well done. You can definitely pat yourself on the back for that. Now, going on to Gauntlet in October, representing EU, that's a lot of weight on your shoulders.
That is true. That is true, especially since we are who are we? Yes. Well, I mean, individually, if you look at the players, we've been in the scene for a long time. Fisher, Zapre, Henning is a new name. True, but still, he's adapting. He's in a good team. He's a very good teammate, so it's very easy to play with him. It's very easy to improve. It's a big weight, but we'll do our best. We'll prepare our best and we'll do our best. But for now, we got to rest.
Speaking of your teammates, Chow, you guys are one of the newer rosters we've had in Contenders this season. We've seen some very storied rosters like Gigantti who have been together forever. You guys are sort of mashed together out of existing talent that was very good. How did you guys synergize so quickly? Because on the D.Va, you're looking super good, saving some lives with that defense matrix.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's we just have a good team spirit, I guess. We never argue. I mean, we do argue, but we never argue as in you are bad, no, you're bad. We argue how to make ourselves better. And we always agree with something. We have a very amazing captain in Fisher. Everyone else is a very good teammate for me. It's been a blast this season. I feel like if you have a good team atmosphere, it's very easy to come together with all the players if they are motivated and already good.
High value with PMA.
Yeah, most definitely. You got to have it, to be fair, and you got a big challenge ahead of you. So thank you very much, Chow. Take some rest. You're going to need it, that is for sure, when you're representing us in Gauntlet. And congratulations again on your win.
Thank you.
Well, there it is. High hopes, a lot of PMA as well that goes into it too. I think a couple of you in solo queue could take that on board for your later games.
Lessons from Chow. And by the way, if you want to be joining HSL over in Korea, tickets will be on sale for the event from September 9th. Make sure to follow Overwatch Path to Pro on Twitter so you know when those are available and where to get them from.
Most definitely. But that has been it from us here in EU. It's been a fantastic couple of seasons here in 2019. We'll see you very soon.
Yeah, and of course, if you're not done with Overwatch Competitive for today, there's still some action coming later on in the night for us EU guys. It's going to be Overwatch League ready to go. There's a quick look at how our bracket played out. As you can see, Team Gigantti, they basically didn't take any flack coming in to the finals. They didn't lose a single map to British Hurricane. And for HSL, it was a lot more difficult. They went to 5 maps with Call of Vendetta. They lost one against Morningstars as well. Looking a bit more shaky, but evidently the time that they had in those sort of 2-week break was very much a blessing in terms of bringing together these compositions.
Well, if you want to see more Overwatch, like Legday said, you can head over to twitch.tv/Overwatch League. But that's it, us and done for EU of 2019. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all so much for watching and your support. We'll hopefully see you very soon.